Hi, I'm Drew Loker, and today I want to share with you one of my favorite tips for improving your cell phone photography. Now, if you've been following any of my images and videos online, you know how important it is to stabilize your cell phone. Now, there are some things that you can do to get better images right off the bat by simply holding your camera with two hands and also bracing your elbows against the table, holding your elbows in close, just making sure that the camera is steady before you actually take the picture. The reason why this is important is to understand what exactly is happening behind the scenes. Your camera is detecting the slightest emotion. And when your camera is moving, the camera increases the cell phone's sensor sensitivity, also called ISO. And when it does that, it gives you a faster shutter speed, but it also introduces noise into your image. Now, you may not see that when you're looking at your images, but when you start zooming in on your images, you start looking at the details and the shadows, you'll see that the image quality has gone down, especially on lower light levels when the sun has gone down, you're taking pictures at night. So if your cell phone photography is important to you, you'll know that it's very important to stabilize your image. Now, if you've seen some of my other videos, you know that I do recommend a tripod and a cell phone tripod adapter. Fortunately, these can be purchased for very inexpensively. I think this one was around $15. And even the tripod that I have here, although not highly recommended, is extremely lightweight and it works. It fits in the pocket. You can see it just as light as you can possibly imagine. And it even had a telescoping center column, which was pretty cool. The main reason why even the least expensive tripod works is because all it has to do is to stabilize your cell phone for a moment to get your hands off of the cell phone. Especially if you've got something like an iWatch or some sort of a smartwatch that lets you trigger your cell phone remotely. And it doesn't mean you have to be a long ways away. You can just be a couple of inches away. Once you get your cell phone into position right here, you can take your watch. Mine's actually activating this cell phone right here, but you put your cell phone into its adapter, lock it into position, stabilize it, get your hand off of it. You can see it kind of bouncing around. This is a very inexpensive solution right here, about $25. And you can see it moves around with the slightest little bit right there. But once you get your hand off of it, you can use your watch to trigger that image. And you're going to get some really, really good images. Much better than you're getting by hand holding your images. But that's my point today for the video. What if you don't have even an economical solution like this right here? Well, that brings me to the point of today's video. I want to share with you the reason why I like OtterBox so much. Now, I understand that some of y'all probably prefer either no case or the slimmest of cases. We're spending a lot of money on these cell phones and we want to show off, the design. It's attractive. Apple and Samsung and other cell phone manufacturers have spent considerable money making that phone attractive to you. It's about design. And hiding it behind an OtterBox case, well, I like OtterBoxes, but they do hide the phone, unfortunately. So one of the things that we want to focus on is how to make this phone advantageous. So one of the things I want to share with you is why an OtterBox is a smart solution, and it also can be very effective for your cell phone photography. Now, this goes back almost 10 years ago when I started using iPhones just for photography. I didn't even use this as an active phone. I got it simply to take pictures. Now, one of the things I recognized right off the bat is the need to hold the cell phone steady. And I went to working on different solutions, and these things just really weren't readily available. Today, you can pick them up at Walmart for $5. But one of my first OtterBox solutions was to take the belt holster, which I immediately liked because it's one of the safest ways to protect your cell phone. Can't be stolen really if it's locked in on your hip. It also doesn't fall and tumble down to the ground if it's not in your hands when you're walking and things like that. But one of the other things you can do with your OtterBox case is modify it. This is showing an unmodified one. This one is showing where I went to whittling it. It's the same case. I even put a tripod socket. At first, I tried one on the back of the belt clip. That one didn't work so well. And then I went to putting it down at the bottom, and that's mixed reviews, and it's unlikely. Most of y'all are not going to want to put a tripod socket in the bottom of your OtterBox cases. But there are other reasons to get an OtterBox belt holster. One of the things you can do with your cell phone is hold it so that you can put it on different things like the edges of a cup or fence, trash cans. I've even held it skiing down mountains. So let me show you how this works right here. So when you put your cell phone in its case, your cameras are facing forward. That's normal. And you can't see your image. And that's a challenge. So what I did was I took the case and made a hole in the back. So instead of putting it facing in correctly, I reversed in the case so that the cameras can view through the case. Now to accomplish this right here, you would want to use a special drill. This drill is a little different than a normal bit. It's called a step drill, and it goes through plastic much more gracefully than a normal drill bit. The reason why is because it does not all of a sudden crack the plastic that you're drilling through. So one of the first things you're going to want to do is put on your safety glasses, and then we're going to use this drill right here and show you how easy this drills through. Now I bought these at an economical hardware store, and I'm going to show you how easily it drills through. I would generally want to be drilling through an object like a piece of wood. I'm going to show you how the step drill works. Now, a normal drill would have already cracked this plastic, but the way the step drill works is that once it starts to go through, you can actually make a very smooth and clean opening right there. So I don't actually recommend using the step drill. I don't imagine too many people are going to be very interested in that. If you don't already have the step drill, you're probably not going to want to go out there and buy it. And plus there are some challenges with what I just showed you. So instead, what I want to show you is just using a pair of wire snips. Now we're definitely going to need our safety glasses for this because when we're cutting through this plastic, it could shatter. Now, one of the other things you might also look around for the house is a pair of tin snips. These are going to do a much better job of cutting through this plastic. But either a basic pair of wire trimmers or a pair of metal shears. One other thing I would point out to you is that OtterBox case on the belt clips have changed. This is for an iPhone 8 and this is for an iPhone 11 right here. You'll notice that the sides of the corners have added additional protection. I actually like this better. However, it does grab a hold of things when I'm walking by every once in a while. So I've actually got extra one of these because they can break if they grab a hold of something. And unfortunately, it's one of those trade-offs. The phone can fit a little bit better into its little slot. So when I dropped this in right here, if it wasn't latched, it fell down to the ground. So they made an improvement by allowing the cell phone to lock into both positions without actually clipping in. But the downside is that sometimes it grabs a hold of things. But we're going to take this case right here, and we're going to take our tin snips right here, and we're going to cut. We're just going to go right through it right here. And you'll see that this actually cuts really nicely right here. I'm just going to cut this corner off. And one of the reasons why this is necessary is because the camera area has gotten so much larger on the newer phones that it's not really practical to drill a hole through that. And then I'm going to take a fingernail file and just smooth that out right there. And I'll work on that a little bit more, but it's already good enough. So now when I put my cell phone into its case, and I look at what I've got, I've actually blocked still a little bit. I need to cut a little bit more. And I probably didn't need to go all the way over here, but I just wanted to show you that you can cut all that. So I'm actually going to cut more off this corner, or off this section. You can buy these belt holsters independently of the case. So if you mess it up and you don't like it, you're out 15 bucks, not that big a deal. So now I can take images with the camera facing forward, where the camera is actually capturing the image, but I can have all the screen to make the adjustments. I can hold on to it very easily. It gives me a one-handed support. I can also stabilize it by putting it onto other objects like the fences and things like that. And of course, if you need to turn it around the other way, one of the other reasons to cut away more of the case that you don't need is so that you can access the start and stop button in case your watch is not working or you don't have a watch. So that is one of the other reasons why I like to cut away the extra case right here. Well, I hope this helps. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and receive the notifications. And let me know if you have any questions. I'll be sure to reply back to you in the comments. Take care, and we'll see you on the next video.